project titled Signals and Systems with its first chapter of Part A, that is Introduction to Signals and Systems. So this is, as you are able to see this screen, and the first article under this chapter is the definition of signals. So how will you define signal? So if you might have studied it in your +1 and +2 standards also, and maybe in the first year of your syllabus, that is signals can be defined as a function of an independent variable. So basically, if, we have two type of variables. One is known as dependent variable and another is known as independent variable. And if you want to sketch the graph between a dependent and an dependent and independent variable, then you can plot these two parameters along the x-axis and the y-axis. Generally, along the x-axis, we plot the independent variable, and the dependent variable is plotted on the y-axis of the graph. So that in that sense, we have one independent variable and another is a dependent variable whose characteristics are dependent upon the parameter that you are sketching over the x-axis. So this is a broad definition of signal. That is, signal is defined as a function of an independent variable. Now, this independent variable can be anything. It can be a time variable. So if you defining the independent variable as time, that is t, then the signal is defined as with the help of a mathematical function, that is f as a function of t, right? So we can write it as f as a function of t, where t is the independent variable. Generally, in the case of electrical and electronics engineering, we generally have t as a independent variable. That is, time is usually taken as a independent variable. But there are different type of different branches of engineering and sciences where the independent variable can be anything else beyond the time also. For example, if you are studying the motion of any object with respect to the some initial point, then you can take distance or displacement as a independent variable, and along that independent variable, there may be some another dependent variable, that is the pressure can be defined as a dependent variable. Then the force of acting can also be defined as an independent variable. So there are different type of independent variables. For example, if you are forcing any object so that it can cover a distance under the influence of that particular force, then force can act as an independent variable, and the displacement experienced by that particular object under the influence of that force can be defined as a dependent variable. So this is the broader definition of dependent and independent variables, and the signal can be defined as a function of an independent variable. So we can say that f of t, that is a function of time. F of t is characterized in such a way that it conveys some information regarding the time varying behavior of the physical phenomena. For example, say on the y-axis, we are measuring any physical phenomena, and when you plot the graph between that particular phenomena versus time, then it tells us about the behavior of that particular phenomena, how that physical phenomena is changing with respect to the time. So it tells us about the time varying characteristic of that particular mathematical function, that is f of t. So this is about the definition of signal. So if you have any query regarding the definition of signal, then you can ask. So as told earlier, that is in electrical and electronics engineering, we generally specify time as an independent variable. For example, say if you are measuring voltage, then V is defined as a function of T. You can plot the graph of Vt versus T according to the given description. For example, say if you have Vt is equal to V sine omega t, then there will be a sinusoidal behavior of the voltage with respect to the time. If you have a DC current, then DC current does not changes with respect to the time. There will be a constant there will be a constant amplitude of that particular signal with respect to the time, and it will not going to change its behavior with respect to the time, right? So similarly, IT, that is the current, can be defined as a IT is equal to I sine omega t. So where omega is the frequency and t is the time independent variable, that is time. So in this way, you can define electrical current and electrical voltage as a signal. So generally, throughout this particular subject, we will going to see the signals which are defined uh, as a function of time only. Now, these are some of the common examples of the signal. So, as told earlier, that is you can have an electrical signal, where electrical signal means either you are measuring voltage or current, right? So, V is equal to V sine omega t, I is equal to I sine omega t. You can measure that signal on the CRO, that is cathode ray oscilloscope. You must have studied about CRO in your first semester or second semester subjects. So CRO is stand for cathode ray oscilloscope, and it act as an XY tracer. That is, you can trace along the x-axis, you can trace the time period, and along the y-axis, you can measure the amplitude of that particular signal. So you can measure the electrical signal on the CRO. So that type of signals are known as electrical signals. Similarly, there are some other type of signal, for example, biological signals, which can be measured with the help of ECG device, right? So with the help of ECG, you can measure the biological signals also. Similarly, speech and voice are another examples of signals, physical signals, right? So physical signal, voice is a physical signal. We have an audible voice band between, say, up to 4 kilohertz or up to 3.4 kilohertz. That is, speech or voice can be defined up to a frequency of 4 kilohertz. That is the voice signal produced by the vocal cords. So that can be defined as a voice or the speech signal. Then audio is another signal. It is again a physical signal. It is not an electrical signal. Audio signal means anything which is audible to the human being, and we know that the audible band falls up to 20 kilohertz. That is, it starts from 20 hertz and it ends at 20 kilohertz. So that is the audible range, and speech or voice is the subset of the audio signal, right? We can listen to many sounds which are in fact not produced by the human beings, right? So human being can produce frequencies up to nearly 4 kilohertz, and it can listen to frequencies which are even beyond than the 4 kilohertz, right? So that is the audible range for the human beings, and the signal is known as audio signal. So speech, voice, or audio, or any biological signal, these are the physical signal. Whereas electrical signal, that is V sine omega t, I sine omega t, which is produced by the electrical voltage sources, right, or current sources, that are the signals which are known as electrical signal. Now, this is about the some common examples of the signals. Next is the dimensionality of the signal. Now, the signal can be a one-dimensional signal, or it can be a multi-dimensional signal, right? So now let us learn about the dimensionality. What is the meaning of the dimensionality, and how the signals are characterized based upon the dimensionality. So, for example, say if you have a signal V is equal to V sine omega t, then that signal is defined as a one-dimensional signal, right? Similarly, the signal which is produced by the ECG machine is again a one-dimensional signal. Speech is also a one-dimensional signal. Voice is also an example of of one-dimensional signal, and audio is also an example of one-dimensional signal. So, what is a one-dimensional signal? One-dimensional signal is a signal which is a function of only one independent variable. It is going to depend upon the only one variable. For example, the speech signal is dependent upon the time. कभी हम जब बोल रहे होते हैं तो जो एम्पलीट्यूड है वो कभी ज्यादा हो जाता है, कभी कम हो जाता है, कभी फ्रिक्वेंसी कम हो जाती है, कभी इंक्रीज हो जाती है. तो ये सभी चीजें जो है टाइम के अकॉर्डिंग चेंज होती रहती हैं. सो दीज आर नोन एज द वन डायमेंशनल सिग्नल वेयर द डिफाइनिंग इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल is only one, right? So this is one dimensional signal. But suppose if we have a signal where the signal have more than one independent variable, then that type of signals are known as multi-dimensional signals. Right. So a multi-dimensional signal is, as you can read it from the slide also, a multi-dimensional signal is a signal where you have more than one dimensions or more than one independent variable. For example, an image signal is defined as a 2D signal, right? So इमेज सिग्नल कैसे 2D सिग्नल होता है, जैसे आपके पास कोई पिक्चर है, स्टेशनरी पिक्चर है, तो उसमें जो है वो उसमें किसी भी पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट आप किसी पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट को कंसीडर करते हो, तो वहां पे जो ब्राइटनेस है, इट कैन बी डिफाइंड एज ए फंक्शन ऑफ द हॉरिजॉन्टल एंड एज वेल एज वर्टिकल कोऑर्डिनेट्स. कहीं पे ब्राइटनेस पिक्चर में कम होगी, कहीं पे ब्राइटनेस ज्यादा रही होगी, तो वो सभी ब्राइटनेस की जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स हैं वो एक्स एक्सिस और वाई एक्सिस के अकॉर्डिंग जो है वो आप डिफाइन करते हो. और कैमरा जो होता है, जो वीडियो जो आपका कैमरा है, उसका भी प्रिंसिपल यही है, इट कैप्चर द इमेज and it define the brightness according to the signal that it has perceived, right? जो उसमें सिग्नल कैप्चर होता है, जैसे आप क्लिक करते हो तो उसमें जो पिक्चर वो कैप्चर करता है, इमेज कैमरा कैप्चर करता है, तो उसमें जो ब्राइटनेस होती है वो लाइट जो ऑब्जेक्ट होता है उसके अराउंड जितनी भी लाइटनिंग रहती है, किसी पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे अगर डार्क है, लाइट कम है, तो वहां पे ब्राइटनेस कम हो जाएगी, यहाँ पे लाइट ज्यादा पड़ रही है, वहां पे ब्राइटनेस इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द एक्स एक्सिस एंड वाई एक्सिस कोऑर्डिनेट्स, द ब्राइटनेस इज गोइंग टू चेंज इन ए स्टेशनरी पिक्चर, सो दैट बिकम अ 2D सिग्नल, राइट? Similarly, the video signal can be defined as a 3D signal. So video signal क्या होता है? It can be defined as moving images, right? कोई भी images हैं, अगर वो motion में हैं, तो motion pictures in motion is known as video signal, and it is defined as a 3D signal. Why it is 3D signal? Because in that case, the brightness or the hue, right, that is or the contrast will depend upon x or y axis. That is the two coordinates. Beside these, the picture is keep on changing with respect to the time. So there will be a third parameter with that is known as small t, right? So as the pictures are keep on changing with respect to the time, so video signal will become a 3D signal. Similarly, we have 4-dimensional signal also. For example, the electrical flux आपने पढ़ा होगा, physics में भी पढ़ा होगा. Electrical flux is a kind of a 4D signal because we define the electrical signal or the electric field along with the help of this particular diagram where we have x, y, and z, 3 different coordinates, right? And we will say that the electric field is moving or propagating along the z axis, right? So उसका मोशन जो है वो z एक्सिस के अराउंड है, वो x एक्सिस के अराउंड भी हो सकता है और y एक्सिस के अराउंड भी हो सकता है. और यू कैन रिजॉल्व द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड कंपोनेंट अमंग x एक्सिस एंड y एक्सिस आल्सो, राइट? सो ये इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड जो है इसका डिस्क्रिप्शन है. एंड the magnitude of the signal is also keep on changing with respect to the time. So there will be fourth parameter, that is t, right? So that is known defined as a 4D signal. So this is about the dimensionality of the signal. So if you have any question or query regarding the dimensionality of the signal, then you can ask. Any question or examples that we have discussed so far?
सर हम ये पूछ रहे हैं कि इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड कैसे 4D सिग्नल, सर एक बार इसको समझा दीजिए.
इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड?
यस सर, ये 4D सिग्नल कैसे है?
4 डायमेंशनल कैसे है?
यस सर.
ओके, सो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड जो होती है, इसका जो प्रोपेगेशन होता है वो किसी भी डायरेक्शन में हो सकता है. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ z डायरेक्शन में होता है. हम z डायरेक्शन का कंपोनेंट ज्यादातर अज्यूम करते हैं बिकॉज अलोंग z एक्सिस वी टेक द डिस्टेंस, राइट, कि किस डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रही है. बट ऐसा नहीं है कि उसके x एक्सिस और y एक्सिस कंपोनेंट नहीं होंगे. आपने फिजिक्स में पढ़ा होगा कि हम E सब x और E सब y लिखते हैं और E z भी लिखते हैं. जैसे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है, उसमें इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड मैग्नेटिक कंपोनेंट भी रहता है, राइट? E और H दोनों कंपोनेंट रहते हैं. उसको हम रिजॉल्व कर लेते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल से EX, EY, EZ. तो उस केस में आपके जैसे इसमें एक वेव फॉर्म शो की हुई है, अगर आप इस कंपोनेंट को रिजॉल्व करोगे x एक्सिस और y एक्सिस के अलोंग, तो x और y एक्सिस के अलोंग भी EX और EY कंपोनेंट आ जाएंगे एंड EZ विल बी द अनदर कंपोनेंट, राइट? सो इस तरह से जो है वो आपके पास 3 डायमेंशनल सिग्नल बन जाएगा ये, क्योंकि आप एक्स वाई और जेड किसी भी डायरेक्शन में इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड को रिजॉल्व कर सकते हो। ये 3 डायमेंशनलिटी होगी। 4th डायमेंशनलिटी टाइम प्रोवाइड करता है, बिकॉज जो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है उसका मैग्नीट्यूड चेंज होता रहता है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द टाइम, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट बिकम अ 4D सिग्नल। Yes, Vineet Kumar, roll number 128.
Yes, sir.
So this is about the dimensionality of the signal. So next is system. So as your subject is defined as signals and systems, so we have done with the definition of signals. Now the definition of system. So system can be defined as a kind of a combination of different components. These components can be electrical components, it can be mechanical component, it can be biological components. According to that, you can define or classify that signal in the category of electrical systems, mechanical systems, biological systems, right? So the system is generally characterized or it's with the help of its constituent elements. कि वो किससे बना हुआ है? Suppose if a system is made up of resistor, inductor, capacitor, transistor, diodes, field effect transistors, then we can term that system as electrical and electronic system, right? And similarly, if the system is made up of, say, gears, trains, shafts, right? So we can term that system as a mechanical system, because the mechanical branch of engineering that deals with that particular type of component is known as mechanical engineering. So it will be classified in the category of mechanical system. If you have a system which analyze the behavior of the biological signals like ECG machine, right? So ECG machine takes the input signal as a biological signal, that is the signals which are produced by the human body, and transfer that signal into electrical signal and provide you a output in the terms of graph. So a ECG machine act as a biological as well as an electrical system. If you have a DNA analyzer, then that DNA analyzer is completely a kind of again a combination of biological system and electrical system, right? So in this way, you can classify the systems as mechanical, electrical, biological systems, right? So these are the classifications of the system depending upon the constituents of its elements, right? So now what does system or what are the functions of the system, or what are the different duties which are performed by the systems? So system generally take an input signal, but carry out certain processes over the input signal and provide you an output which is desired by the designer or the user, right? User want a output from a particular device or from a particular system, so that it can easily grasp that particular information. So system will take a raw input or a physical input which may not be easily understood by the user. So that information is taken by the user. For example, biological signals may not be understood by the human body or by the human being as in the raw form. So an ECG machine take the biological signal, analyze that biological signal, and then produces some kind of an output which can be understood by the human being, because there are set of instructions in front of the human being. That is, if the graph is behaving like this with respect to the time, then this will be the particular types of, or the set of diagnoses. So in that sense, the output is a desirable output that is desired by the user or by the designer. So input in a kind of a system is generally a raw or a physical input signal, and the system carry out certain processes so that that particular input becomes some kind of a desirable signal or desirable output, which can be used by the human being or by the subsequent stages of different systems also, right? For example, say if you have an amplifier, then amplifier is generally used to amplify the signal, because जो उसको input दिया जाता है वो low signal होता है, और it may be possible उसका magnitude इतना कम हो कि वो audible ही ना हो. तो जैसे ही आप उसको amplifier को देते हो, amplifier increases its magnitude and the output is listened at the speaker end, and the loudspeaker, when produces that output, it is audible to a large number of gathering, right? So that is a function of a PA system, that is a public addressing system. It takes the input signal from the mic where a user is speaking, and the voice or the audio signal produced by the announcer will be very small in magnitude, and the amplifier will amplify that electrical signal from the mic, and then amplify its signal, and then with the help of a transducer, which is known as a loudspeaker, it again convert that electrical signal into physical signal into electrical signal, where the electrical signal into a physical system where the amplitude of that signal is very large, and a large number of gathering can easily listen to that particular conversation. So that is an amplifier. Similarly, automobiles is again a kind of a system where we apply force on the pedal of the accelerator. As we apply the force on the pedal of the accelerator, depending upon the force applied, the automobile consume the fuel according to that particular force. If the force applied is very large, then the fuel consumed by the vehicle will be very large, and according to that, the piston, the displacement of the piston will be very large, and then that movement will be converted into, or that energy will be converted into kinetic energy, and the wheels, with the help of gears and trains, that kinetic energy is transferred to the wheels, and the automobile start moving with a larger velocity. As soon as you apply the brakes, the gears and trains experience a kind of interrupt, and the brakes are applied on the wheels of the vehicle, and the vehicle will suddenly stop. So that is how the mechanical or the automobile systems work under the influence of the different type of input signals. So all these systems can be classified as a kind of a system where it takes some kind of an input signal and produces output which is desirable to the human being or to the designer or to a particular application. So that is a function of the system. It processes the input signal and produces an output signal. So this is all about the definition of signals and systems. Next is the classification of signals, right? So again, we will start with the signals first. That is, what is the classification of signal? So as you can have a look at this particular slide, that is a slide number 3. The first category that we are going to define for the classification of signal is CT and DT signal. So these are the abbreviations. CT stand for continuous time and DT stand for the discrete time. Right? CT stand for continuous time and DT stand for discrete time. So if anyone can define the difference between a CT and a DT signal, कि continuous signals क्या होते हैं और DT signal क्या रहते हैं?
Analog or digital?
Yes,
analog or digital?
Analog or a digital signal. That is a different set of qualification. Different type of classification. Analog and digital. It is certainly related to the CT and DT, but you cannot say that analog signal and digital signal are completely synonymous to the CT and DT signal. They are related or they are similar, but not the same. So what is, how will you define CT and DT? Continuous time and discrete time. Or you can also explain with the help of some example. If you know about the certain type of signal which can be defined as a CT and DT, continuous and discrete. Or any phenomena that you have observed in your regular life that can be defined as continuous, and the other can be defined as a discrete. It's Rohan Singh, roll number 92.
Yes, sir.
Any example for CT and DT signal, or if you are able to define CT and DT signal, then kindly tell the definition of CT and DT.
Yes, sir. In sir continuous signal, sir, function will be continuous. सर मतलब सर उसे किसी पॉइंट पे वैल्यू जीरो नहीं होगी, जैसे डिस्क्रीट में किसी मतलब पर्टिकुलर इंटरवल में जीरो हो जाती और फिर से वैल्यू हो जाती कुछ.
Yes, as told by Rohan, this is the exact definition of CT and DT. So continuous time signals are the signals which are defined for all the values of t. Right? जैसे यहाँ पे example दे रखी है x of t है equal to sin pi t. So this signal sin pi t can be defined for all the instants or all the time instants which are plotted on the x-axis because t is independent variable here. So कोई भी time instant अगर आप पिक करोगे चाहे 0 पिक करो या 1 पिक करो या 5 पिक करो या infinity पिक करो या minus infinity पिक करो उस पे सिग्नल का कुछ ना कुछ मैग्नीट्यूड जो है आप डिफाइन कर सकते हो. So that is known as CT signal, right? So x of t is equal to sin pi t is a continuous time signal because this signal is defined for all the values of t. For example, in between 0 and 1, there could be infinite number of values. That is 0.01, 0.002, 0.000004, right? So there can be infinite values even between 0 and 1. So for all those infinite values, you can define the magnitude of the signal along the y-axis. So that is known as CT signal. This thing does not happen with the discrete signal. Discrete signal is defined as x as a function of n. Now, what is the difference between t and n? Both are time, right? Both are representing time. But t is continuous in nature, whereas n is discrete in nature. So to represent discreteness in time domain, we have a mathematical term which is known as integer values. So n can have only integer values, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 20, plus infinity, right? But n cannot take it cannot take any non-integer value. For example, it cannot be 0.1, it cannot be equal to 2 by 5, right? So n cannot take any non-integer value, whereas this t can take both integer as well as non-integer values, right? So that's why we are representing the discrete signal with the help of a mathematical symbol x as a function of n sine 12 pi divided by 15 into n. So this signal will be defined only for the discrete instants. That is, n can be equal to 0. When n is equal to 0, then it will be sine 0, right? The magnitude will be equal to 0 on the y-axis. When n is equal to 1, then it will be sine 12 pi divided by 5 at n is equal to 1. When n is equal to 15, it will be sine 12 pi at n is equal to 15. But n cannot be equal to 0.5, right? That is, it cannot be equal to 1 by 2 because it is non-permissible value under the definition of discrete time signal. If in any case, if n becomes equal to 0.5, then it is nothing but the CT signal. वो CT ही signal है, वो discrete time signal नहीं हो सकता. So this is the class definition of CT and DT signal, that is continuous and a discrete time signal. So from the definition, it is very much clear that the CT and DT signal are defined only with the help of the x-axis characteristics. That is, it is dependent only upon the characteristic of the x-axis parameter. It has nothing to do with the y-axis parameter. y-axis का पैरामीटर चाहे पॉइंट में है या इंटीजर वैल्यू है या नॉन इंटीजर वैल्यू, उसको हमने नहीं देखना, राइट? मैग्नीट्यूड कैन बी इक्वल टू 0.5, इट कैन बी इक्वल टू 1, बट जो एक्स एक्सिस पे पैरामीटर हम प्लॉट कर रहे हैं वो आपको बताता है कि सिग्नल कंटिन्यूस है या डिस्क्रीट है. अगर एक्स एक्सिस का पैरामीटर कंटिन्यूस है नेचर में, देन वी विल कॉल दैट सिग्नल एज ए कंटिन्यूस सिग्नल. अगर एक्स एक्सिस का पैरामीटर सिर्फ इंटीजर वैल्यूज ले सकता है और वो डिस्क्रीट है नेचर में, देन वी कैन कॉल दैट सिग्नल एज ए डिस्क्रीट टाइम सिग्नल. So this is about the definition of CT and DT signal. So ये सभी वही डिस्कशन है जो हमने अभी किया है. जैसे ये ग्राफ प्लॉट किया हुआ है, दिस इज अ CT सिग्नल, ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ CT सिग्नल, एंड दिस इज अ ग्राफिकल सिग्नल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ अ DT सिग्नल, राइट? सिर्फ डिस्क्रीट इंस्टेंस पे सिग्नल का कोई मैग्नीट्यूड एग्जिस्ट करता है और बाकियों पे नहीं एग्जिस्ट करता. जैसे x 0 की वैल्यू, दैट इज व्हेन n is equal to 0, this signal has a 0 value. At x is equal to 1, it has some magnitude, right? And between 0 and 1, the signal is not defined. You cannot say that the signal is equal to 0, right? Because 0 is a defined value. So between 0 and 1, that is between when n is in between 0 and 1, then you cannot do tell anything about the magnitude of the signal, and we can say that signal is not defined between 0 and 1. Similarly, the signal is not defined between 1 and 2. Between 2 and 3, again, it is not defined. It is only defined for the point of moment, that is for the integer values, that is 2, 3, 4, 5. Whereas we do not have any such restriction on the x-axis characteristic of the CT signal. The signal can be defined for all the time instants. So this is the graphical representation. So this is one of the example, that is how to plot the. If you have any question regarding CT and DT signal, then you can ask. अगर कोई कुछ पूछना चाहता हो तो पूछ सकता है. Is any question regarding the CT and DT signal? So, okay, if you do not have any question, then kindly look at these examples. Example number 1, you have to plot the signal. We have the mathematical representation with us, that is x of n is equal to 2 for n greater than or equal to 0, and it is equal to 0 for n lesser than 0. So this is the representation of the signal, that is when n is equal to 0, its magnitude is 2. At n is equal to 1, the magnitude is equal again to, and so on. It remains constant value, that is for n greater than or equal to 0. For n lesser than 0, its magnitude is equal to 0. So this is a kind of an infinite duration signal. इसको हम infinite duration signal बोलते हैं. ऐसे ही finite duration signal भी हो सकता है. अगर suppose करो यहाँ पे लिखा होता, that is n is equal to 2 between that is x of n is equal to 2 between n between -5 to +5. तो हम बोलते हैं ये finite duration signal है, क्योंकि ये -5 और 5 के बीच में exist करता है. बाकियों के लिए exist नहीं कर रहा, बाकी सभी के लिए उसका value 0 रह रहा है, तो हम उसको finite duration signal बोलते थे. बट इसमें हमें बोला हुआ है कि for n greater than equal to 0, the magnitude of the signal will be equal to 2. That is for all the values up to plus infinity, the magnitude will remain equal to 2. So that's why it is a infinite duration signal. This is the second example, which is a CT example. You have to sketch this signal, that is xt is equal to -1/2 for t lesser than 0, and for t greater than 0, again the magnitude is equal to 1/2. So there is no change in the magnitude, only the sign of the signal is changing. So this is the representation, x of t equal to 1/2 for t greater than 0. For t lesser than 0, it is equal to -1/2. If you look at this mathematical representation, at t is equal to 0, we do not have any given condition कि t is equal to 0 पे signal क्या है. So at t is equal to 0, the signal can take its any magnitude. It can be equal to +1/2. It can also be equal to -1/2. So for such cases, or for such type of conditions, we term that condition as a discontinuity. That is, there is a discontinuity because the signal changes its magnitude from +1/2 to -1/2 abruptly or within no time, right? So there is a discontinuity in that sense. That is, signal is changing its continuous nature from at t is equal to 0 from some plus value to minus value. तो इसको हम discontinuity भी बोलते हैं, right? क्योंकि सिग्नल का discontinuity t is equal to 0 पे सिग्नल का मैग्नीट्यूड क्या होगा, तो ना तो वो +1/2 होगा या -1/2 होगा, दोनों नहीं हो सकते, right? And that is not given in the mathematical representation. So we can say that at t is equal to 0, there is a discontinuity. So again, the classification of system depending on the nature of the signal. So we have CT systems and DT systems. So the definition is now very easy. If any system possesses CT signal, that is, it has an input which is CT and the output is also CT, then that is a CT system. If we have a system which have an input which is DT and the output of the system is also DT, then that system is known as DT system, right? So a CT system possesses CT signals only, and DT system possesses only a DT signals. For example, y of t is a function of x of t, where x of t is the input signal and y of t is the output signal, and the system is carrying out some kind of a transform over this input signal, which is represented with the help of this symbol capital T, right? For example, say if you have a system which have a xt signal like this, right, and it is producing a signal like this. This is the output of the system. So if you are familiar with this particular waveform, अगर आपने पहले पढ़ी होगी कभी, तो इसको हम एम्पलीट्यूड मॉड्यूलेटेड वेव बोलते हैं, AM वेव, राइट. सो वी कैन टर्म दिस सिस्टम एज एन एम्पलीट्यूड मॉड्यूलेटर, कि वो उसका एम्पलीट्यूड जो है वो चेंज कर रहा है, कभी इंक्रीज कर रहा है, कभी उसका एम्पलीट्यूड डिक्रीज कर रहा है, राइट. सिमिलरली इफ यू हैव yn इज इक्वल टू 1/2 एंड मल्टीप्लाई बाय x ऑफ n, तो इसका मैग्नीट्यूड जो है इनपुट सिग्नल का हाफ कर रहा है जो हमारा पास सिस्टम है. सो इट कैन बी टर्म्ड एज एन अटेन्यूएटर, that is, it is attenuating the signal. So this is all about the definition of signals and systems, and the first category of classification, that is CT signal and DT signal, and CT systems and the DT system. So in next class we will discuss about the analog and digital classification, deterministic and random signals, right? So periodic and non-periodic signals, energy and power signal. So all these classification will be discussed in the next class. So if you have any question regarding the discussion that we have so far, then you can ask your questions or queries. So आप लोगों को एक गूगल क्लासरूम मैंने क्रिएट किया है और यश को वो लिंक मैंने सेंड किया है, तो आप